I'm Jennifer Wang. I'm a second year at the University of Chicago, and I do art in my free time.
I am MeeSoh Bossard. I'm a joint graduate student, so I'm a senior at the university and a first year master's student at SSA. So we're making a book together, which is really exciting for the two of us. It's called Some Things Just Stick in Your Mind, and it's a book of poems with hand-drawn amazing watercolor illustrations by Jenny that kind of investigates the way that social structures such as race and gender, specifically misogyny, kind of impede on and kind of act on our social interaction. I love spending time with you because you're a good listener and generous with your time. You're also the best writer I know. I explained to you the situations I've been tossing around in my mind, a complete and total revision of these poems I've been working on since the summer, to talk about race. But I don't want it to be a book of race poems, I add, just because I'm a writer of color. It's supposed to be a meditation on parting, you know? You nod and then after a while say, "It's not fair. I would never have to think about that." I tilt my head to the side and avoid your eyes. It's true, you would never have to think about that, but you're thinking about it now with me, and a part of me is grateful. Another part of me is lonely. It's okay, I say. It's okay. I say it again to make it true. I'm also mixed race, and so the first time that I got to hold a book that had a character, any character, supporting, extra, whatever, that looked like me or kind of held my social identities was not actually this book. There was one book before. It's called Everything, Everything by Nicola Yoon, and my friend gifted it to me, and I remember just realizing that and just crying. Like 21 years to not see yourself reflected in like a piece of media that you enjoy, or even poetry, which is my passion, is really kind of heartbreaking. And so we wanted to do something for others, and and kind of catch them earlier on, perhaps, and be like, hey, you really do exist, you matter, and our experiences are somewhat hilarious at times, but also like really interesting and fun.
I did a whole bunch of sketches, I think about 8 or 10. Over the course of these past few months. In the past 3 weeks, I've just been painting watercolors like crazy.
I mean, it was really Jennifer kind of questioning me and challenging me to really bring my authentic self into the poems that kind of sparked the project to be what it is today.
It's only like recently, I think, with you and this journey that I also started questioning what it would mean for me to make paintings that look like us.
You said, like, I think a lot of people can resonate with the idea of the problematic white boy. I mean, that's kind of what we tackle. But we also try and think about not only the other and like that in that relational piece, but also what we bring, because it's always a dyad, and it's like everything about a relationship is co-constructed, and what it means for there to be certain hierarchies determined in society in terms of where a person of color / woman of color lies in relation to a man, particularly a white man, but also flipping that. Like in some instances, I may hold more power in this circumstance because you're drunk and you're texting me 100 hearts and I decide not to respond. I got to be introduced to Spelling Press by taking this class that was offered in spring by Stephanie Anderson called From Thesis to Chapbook, which just kind of walks you through the process of what it means to write a manuscript of poems and how to make them into like a chapbook.
Seeing my schoolwork as not separate from this, as seeing how every aspect of my life informs the other aspects, I think has really brought this together, especially when we were challenging each other on the manuscript.
I'm a social work student. We talk a lot about self-care and what that means. And so for me, thinking about the arts as like a community building tool, as a relationship building tool, as a way of self-expression, and seeing how all those things also involve me as a social worker, this project like really bringing full circle the things I'm doing in grad school, but also what I was studying in undergrad, which is comparative human development. So I was doing a lot of reading and thinking and studying about how these social structures impact people on the ground, but it's only by combining it with my studies of poetry and studies of like community advocacy and community work that I've been able to kind of conceptualize and really work on this project in a way that feels substantial and theoretically grounded. There are some patterns and cycles we just can't seem to get away from. Social structures also play into that, so it's not just the physical world, it's not just memories from childhood or things that we're fond of, but also sometimes the things we want to escape.
Yesterday, Jenny and I looked at each other and we said, did you know how many million steps it goes into making a book? And we just went, no.
We're doing Coptic binding, so we need all of our pages in signatures, which are these like tiny booklets inside the book itself. We're going to work with hand set printing to put our names on the cover. And then these are going to be bound to like a cardboard piece, and then we're going to stitch it to everything.
And so we're funded by the generous funding of the Dean's Fund. We are giving away 35 of our handmade books for free to the people who have been phenomenal in our lives in general and in this process. Just like our fingerprints are literally all over the book, their influence in our lives are also all over that. So people can pre-order a copy if they want, and so we'll just end up making books for the amount of people who want them. People ask me, they're like, so why is she partnering with you? Like, are you paying her? Also, she's really good, like you're lucky. And I absolutely agree.